Welcome into the Dice Dragons Guild. And I lost my spot on this, so I gotta go click on this over here. Okay, in this hall, we unite under one banner. Live by the die.
Die by the die.
Hey!
I'll take it.
8
Best
is great.
17.
Oh,
Nice.
14.
alright.
Add a feeding.
Should I roll too?
Yeah.
Why
That's a
not?
good idea. Are you going to tell us? Oh, shit. Jesus Christ.
11.
Oh, that's kind of boring.
It's not great, not terrible. Have we ever established what it means?
What means?
No, I don't
That
know.
roll
Just-
that we do at the beginning.
Maybe,
of
maybe,
the
Oh,
maybe we
alright.
should make it whoever rolls the highest that when Izzy calls for the first roll, that'll be the start
That's
of
a
the
good
chain.
idea.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
So then if anyone
says-
ties, we
yeah.
can do rollies to...
So you're the highest.
Oh, shit.
Well, I will start off also with a big thank you to Grem, who, using our Twitch channel points, which you can use when I stream the VOD, which we are in chat when that happens on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, gave Patrick a nat 20 with her
Thank
channel
you.
points. So
Thank you.
thank you, Grem. They can always use it.
Yes.
When last we left our fated heroes, you had just been shunted from the domain of Yamari, demi-goddess of joy and happiness, and the embodiment of the island upon which you stand. You found yourselves just outside of the city of Mosswick, where you requested to be sent after your discussion with the demigod, a much more familiar stomping ground for Ayla and Iolite. You discussed your options at the Dumpy Dive in the port district of the city before heading back to the Starlight Concert Hall and reconnecting with Melpomene, owner and proprietor, as well as Ayla's mentor. Melpomene lent an ear to your story and welcomed you home, introducing you to the rest of the Daydream Revolution, Ayla and Iolite's concert hall companions. The following
Why are
day
you laughing?
was spent getting to know
All I
each
can
other a
think
little
of
bit
is
more.
Prince
Yeah.
in the revolution.
I'm not saying that it was not
makes me
partly
think-
inspired by
It
that.
makes me think of the Rockafire explosion, which isn't that like the Chuck E. Cheese band?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it is.
This is like the Dave Chappelle skit where it's just game blouses.
Then we ate
The
pancakes.
The following day was spent getting to know each other a little bit more, doing some breakfast shopping, and stopping over at the Callian Collection of Mosswick, the local library, as maintained by the Callian government. Hours of research turned up little new information, but confirmed with more certainty things that you believed to be true. And so you exited back onto the streets of Mosswick, but before we continue, we will take stock of what you have learned so far. So Cryon claimed that the stars foretold your existence. Where am I? There I am. Belief in prophecies does not necessarily make them so, but disbelief does not make them false. And Kethra not only claims to have a father who prophesizes, but has apparently seen some things herself. If the prophecies are true, then what more may they be telling you that you haven't yet deciphered? Ayla's clan has been personally threatened by someone who may very well be the sister she lost many years ago during an attack in Mosswick. This person also had a hand in stealing the wine-tailed langurs and setting in motion the end of peaceful life on the island. Your leads include a lightning storm tattoo and a direction, north, but lack a clear and concise motive. If the group is obscure but powerful enough to traverse the Wailing Coast and mostly survive, those in the know about them are likely to be the highest or lowest of places. Ayla's mothers might also be interested in knowing about this. Your work uncovering the information about the monkeys has already been rewarded. Adrio took down your names and encouraged you that if you headed to Mosswick, the deeds that you had already been done would have been shared with the mayor. While not a guarantee, it is likely that you are not as lowly as you once were, though that may depend on the mayor's relationship with her steward. In addition, conversations with the very suspicious Morden of the Cassian Guard left him with narrowed eyes honed in on Kai. The rift is in the eastern part of the Sleeping Wilds. You know, a trail of highly magical sludge leads from the wilds onto Baina Road, where it stops just to the south of Balstead. It is possible that the trail leads to the rift, though what power awaits you there is yet unknown. A more unsettling, if it's settling, this is not settling, a more unsettling set of questions might be, what left the trail? Who or what picked it up? And where did they go? And while you contemplate all of that information, Kai needs a shirt. And Melpomene claims that Enrique is the man to see. So what are you doing?
Are we still in the library?
You had left the library, but you're welcome to go back in if you would like.
It's like in a video game, you walk out and, oh shit, I have to go back.
Oh, damn it, I forgot to save.
Gotta find a typewriter.
It'd be hilarious if we did, and she used the exact same dialogue from last time we played.
Are you gonna let me in?
Well, I learned nothing new. That was a waste of time.
Same. Hours wasted.
Well, though we didn't get any new answers, I still need a new shirt.
I suppose we should go find Enrique. What time of the day is it?
Looking up at the sky, it is knowing
Right into the two suns.
the suns are on their way down. It is probably about 3-ish
Sundial
in the
on my wrist.
afternoon. So they're starting to fade over there's a wall around the city of Mosswick, but fade in the western direction. The sun sets, between 5:30 and 6:30. So you have a couple of hours before sun goes down, but that doesn't necessarily mean, it's bedtime.
No, we should find Enrique before he closes. We can speak to the mayor tomorrow.
Yes, I'll need to look presentable if we're gonna be speaking to the upper class.
And they probably will not let you in without a shirt.
Hmm.
I've not tried it. Oh, come this way.
So you begin heading through the streets of Mosswick. Let me pull up my Mosswick map. And you head to the north, although interestingly, Ayla, despite your walking in a pretty targeted direction, in the back of your mind you're like, shit, you're kind of going through your mind of where the painted wardrobe is, because Enrique usually goes to you. You have been to his shop, but it was a long time ago. And Melpomene has some kind of deal where he goes to you guys and drops stuff off, or maybe she'll go and pick it up rarely, but you don't typically have to make this trek.
As we're walking, I kind of want to keep an eye out for a shop that might sell things like some basic weapon type of things.
Okay. So weapons in the city are going to be mostly relegated to non-sharp things, or farming tools. There are several blacksmiths in the city. What you can see as you're walking is in a time like this, a lot of them are, the military is taking ownership
As
of
they
them.
march by.
Yeah. I'm looking for something made of wood that I could hit people with.
So Louisville
To be a little
slugger.
more specific. Sure.
So I'll have
Homer's baseball bat? No, it's the tree that's struck
Yeah,
by
struck by
lightning.
lightning.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I'll have you both make investigation checks. I'm going to let you do so with advantage because you have been to Enrique's before, but it's been a while, and then you're looking out for a smithy.
Yeah, investigation.
Are we all rolling?
Or history. I'll say investigation or history. Now, you two don't know where you're going.
Oh, okay.
And Kethra.
I'd be looking for more like arrows and stuff. I just got a call.
Okay.
17.
13 for history. Because it's better than investigation.
Okay, yeah. Now, you've been there before. It's just, might take you a minute. Hold on. I'm just getting my Mosswick map. I don't know why it's not showing the more recent one that I have made with all the little dots. But you continue through the streets, keeping an eye out. Hold on, this is loading, and yeah, never mind. Oh, there it is.
Gotta get my money bag ready. For some Foley work. Feel free.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna export this as a JPEG.
As we search for Enrique.
JPEGs.
All right. So heading north. There we go.
So there's no there's no weapons places.
There are.
Like-
There are.
Okay, you said you're not gonna find something pointy.
So you can't just kind of go in Mosswick. Other cities where there's actual stuff that attacks and stuff like that in the past, you could get,
But this is the only city on the island.
Yes. So there are several smithies, and they are making things, but they're not going to let just anybody buy a long sword and carry it around.
But say somebody wanted to I don't know, modify a weapon or something that they already had.
Potentially. Right now it's in a little bit of a state of panic. And so there are things that you might have to do a little bit more digging to find specialty. You can always try, you can always ask.
I mean, I'm asking for him because I don't have any weapons that I need modified.
So did we find a shop of some kind?
I only just got this map up here.
sorry.
So no, you're good. So you head up through Glee Gardens and markets. There are a lot of different areas. Let me see here. Your Mosswick smithies. You do find the Swift Shot Archery, which is a pretty renowned Fletcher's workshop that produces bows and arrows and ranged weapons. What did you want to buy?
Is there any kind of specialty arrows? I have a unbreakable arrow. I have several blunt head arrows, which I assume, I never actually asked you, but I assume they did damage, just non-lethal.
Yeah.
But they still do the normal 1d8. Okay.
Yeah.
If they have any I don't know, specialty type arrows of any kind that do some kind of
Like a boxing glove arrow.
I'm thinking like a fire arrow,
Birthday cake arrow.
or if they modify bows in any certain way.
Yes. So an existing bow that they we'll have to see. How much are you willing to spend?
How much?
Well, he's gonna. This is when Eldon's gonna reach into. Sorry. Never fails. Everybody knows I'm here at this point in time for this certain amount of hours, and everybody wants to ask me questions and call me and all that sorts of stuff. Oh boy.
Just don't respond.
It's not that easy.
Oh, it is so that easy.
Have you ever heard of consequences?
I was gonna say.
Ever hear of damn the torpedoes?
Not when it's your kid.
Still.
Ouch.
She doesn't text me.
This is when he would feel around for that mithril pocket watch
Okay.
in his pouch.
Oh, he remembered he had it now.
Oh,
That one he
magically,
didn't
you
know he had.
remembered he had it.
Hey, to be fair, like I said, it wasn't in here. I had it written.
So yeah, you reach into your
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, do I even have it written down on here? Yeah, I do. Okay.
yeah. So you reach in through your backpack, and as you're walking through the streets, you can't find it. You can see the Fletcher coming up around the bend, so you know you can kind of stop. Son of a bitch.
You should have cut a hole in the backpack so like he would think that it fell out.
It's all of his gear just falls out. It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
The watch that I had found, it's gone. I had shown that to the. Yeah, I did. I showed it to the
Yeah.
because you saw it. You took it.
Perhaps you missed the pocket. It happens.
Maybe I dropped it in your room. I'll look when we get back there.
You can certainly try.
How much am I willing to spend on modifying the weapon or on arrows? In
So,
particular?
more specifically on the ammunition that they have right now. So for arrows, they've got bodkin arrows. So that's going to be 40 gold for a pack of 10. They are these sharpened spikes with like a square profile that is supposed to penetrate plate and mail armor.
Mm-hmm.
So you will get +1 to metal armor with those.
Okay.
So that's 40 gold. They have broadhead, which are designed for maximum penetration of soft flesh and thick hide, typically used by hunters. When you hit a creature that isn't wearing armor with this ammunition, it will take a 1d6 extra piercing damage. Those are 50 gold for 10.
Okay.
And then there are silvered. There's also firecrackers. That's what you were talking about. It is tipped with this volatile alchemical compound, and it will explode. That creates a flash of light and a loud crack. Audible out to 100 feet.
Does it do any extra damage?
Not this kind, but if you wanted to add that, we could make something.
Okay. I'll
It's
take
20 for 5.
I'll
20
take
gold.
2 packs of the firecracker, and you said it was 5
Yeah.
arrows a bundle. 2 of those and 1 bundle of the bodkin.
Okay, bodkin is 10 for 40.
Yep.
So it's total 80 gold. You got 10 firecrackers and 10 bodkins.
And I'll ask you again on the Discord if it doesn't come up today. Exactly what those do then.
Look at our boy. Back when he was Eric, he couldn't afford anything.
I still probably have the least amount of group. I just added the 250 that we got, and for some reason it won't add the gold. Because I have 250 here.
So in addition, if you wanted
But
to
it doesn't-
upgrade your
But it
bow,
doesn't add to my currency. I don't know why. Oh, there. It just
Last
took
week I
forever
was
to
gonna say there was a
load.
weird
It might-
delay
it
when
might
I was
take a
looking
little
at
bit.
mine
Yeah.
last week.
So now I have to do minus 80.
if you wanted to add to your bow, you can add a sight pin. That's going to be 100 gold, and attacks with the weapon will then score a critical hit on a 19 or a 20.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, what
or,
else? What else? Sorry. I said yes before hearing the other options.
Or you can get an oiled string, where you get a +1 to damage rolls made with the weapon.
If I left him with the bow over the night, could I get both if I paid for them?
I would say a sight pin is really easy, and an oiled string, same. If you just kind of like, so you guys are kind of walking along, you find this Fletcher. You could leave it for a couple of hours, and you'll have it done.
Sure.
And only because there's a lot of people ahead of you, like military and whatnot. But
Yeah, he'll leave his bow,
okay.
and as he hands it over, he'll say, "Please take care. This has great sentimental value to me."
And you see the
And it's when he
Fletcher.
sees it, it's like like it doesn't even. This bow is so tall. It's like a long bow, but it doesn't even look like Eldon should like. Most people who saw it, like you guys have seen me fire it, like string it, but it looks like almost like a staff. Like it's way too big. It's like the equivalent is like they use a great African hunting bow. Like they were just way bigger and thicker than like the people that fired it should even be able to.
The Fletcher who takes it is this dwarf, and they like take it and they're like, "Oh, beautiful! Of course, we treat everything with utmost respect. Give us a couple of hours."
Thank you.
And it's 200 gold for the two.
So that was 80 and then minus another 200.
And if you go to the Armorer's Handbook, you'll see what you can just add it to it. And I can update your thing.
Kai would be looking for an armor too. I think I talked to you about his jacket, to the armor,
Okay.
because he can't do his weapon.
Is there any place that sells corn dogs?
Through the market, yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna take 2.
All right.
Get your corn dogs here.
That'll be a silver piece.
In real life, I hate corn dogs. I think they're the most vile thing in existence. But
I'm taking
Ayla
2.
Fantasy corn dogs.
loves
On
corn
the other
dogs.
hand,
So as you two
I
are
love that
upgrading your
for her.
weapons,
Double
eating some corn dogs.
Double fist and corn dogs are?
Yes.
And actually, while you're at the Fletcher, even though they specialize in bows and whatnot, because it's made of wood, you see over in the corner there are these beautiful handmade and carved, obviously everything's handmade, carved quarterstaffs and whatnot that are all different types of wood. You can tell that some of them are imported from all over the place because this is a port and very, very popular. So they do have quarterstaffs available.
I definitely want to look at those.
Okay. Any particular color that stands out to you?
Any particular color? What kind of color options are there?
What would you like?
Gosh, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking about function only.
Can I recommend something? Only because I know
Please
my
do.
dad's a carpenter and he
Yeah.
loves wood as a
Here's one with a race stripe.
Eldon would, seeing what she's looking at, the wood, he's going to go over to one that's made out of purple heartwood
Yep.
that would match, just about match, like your eyes. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's actually, some
that's a
depending
little-
is
yeah.
actually
It's
much
purple
more,
something wood.
some of them is actually much more purple. It's the middle stalk of the, like the rings of certain trees.
I think Iolite's eyes are
They're blue,
blue,
but that's okay.
Oh, why was I thinking purple?
purple.
Oh, I knew
There's a lot of purple.
That'd be Kai.
These match your eyes.
Sorry.
My eyes are.
Kai looks
Actually, I
over.
think they are purple in my hero
They are
forge.
quite-
They're
they are
purple,
quite
But I
beautiful.
changed it because I was like, there's too many purple. There's too
Right,
much
so
purple.
it was in the was it in the one of the picture things that
In
you
the
sent?
hero forge, I think it's still purple because it
That's
was
fine.
originally purple. Yeah, I don't fault you for that. I changed her color scheme a little more blue once I realized how much purple we had going on.
It's still purple.
Yeah, that's
I
okay.
can't think
like
of
purple.
I can't think of a blue wood.
No,
So,
I would
sorry.
still gravitate towards the purple. I think.
Yeah, so they'll happily sell you that. I don't know what the price is, but I'll let you know after. You guys
Okay.
have plenty of
I
money.
also want some sort of like strap so that I could like wear it, like rag.
Oh yeah, sure.
Star Wars.
Yeah, they've got that too.
Ayla pays for it.
No, no, you don't have to pay
She
for
doesn't
it.
tell
You don't have to
you.
pay for it.
It's already paid for by the time you like. You
Wait,
kind of.
You're
almost
like, I like
forget.
this one. They're like, it's yours.
There you go.
Now I just want you to have some sort of a moonstone or something in it, so when you like click it, it ignites like a lightsaber. There's something called, I think, a moonblade or a sunblade that exists in the D&D universe. That I want to say it's a hilt, and when you hit it, it turns into basically a lightsaber.
I have a spell that's like, I forget what it's called though.
For
Something blade. Flame blade?
I'm just saying homebrew.
There is
something.
flame blade.
There's green, green flame blade, or wait a minute, I think flame blade. Yeah,
That one is
you
a-
create.
you
create
it's like your sword, and then a flame comes on it.
Okay.
right, but flame blade itself, I think you actually
Maybe I'll-
create a fire blade.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll figure something out.
I'm just
for the
saying
quarter
homebrew something with the DM. You
staff.
can
Well, maybe.
Yeah,
phrase what
Ayla
you're
had,
going for.
had whispered to the proprietor, like, whatever she picks, like I pay, like is already paid for. Like here's money.
Okay.
As she sees her like eyeballing like staffs and stuff. I keep fucking with you. I'm sorry. It's fun.
How?
You're like, you should pick this one because, and I'm like,
Hey, he
"It's
didn't
paid
offer.
for."
He didn't offer to pay for it. He didn't offer to pay
No,
for
I
it.
know. It's just. I'm
His
mad.
expensive
This is
watch
fun.
he found on a dead body is mysteriously missing. He can only pay for himself.
So guilty. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Not be
grum-
paying for my
He's
stuff.
he's kind of grumbling about it the whole time. Like, man, I had that.
Yeah, no, she don't. You don't know that I paid for it.
You
Like
know,
I like took the store owner aside and been like, whatever
You
she
know what I'm saying?
thinks.
Just
Like,
fancy
just tell
pocket
her
watch.
it's all set.
Digitation, like I could make a little trinket in my hand
Little pocket watch. Little pocket watch.
just to fuck with them.
All right. So you find what you need from a weapons perspective from the swift shot archery.
Oh, can I find anybody to like sell this sword to?
Sell the sword.
Sword you
The
gave me.
The red. Oh.
He's gonna.
Not
Eldon-
at, not at this
Eldon
particular.
is gonna share that. That was loaned to you. That is not yours.
There is no such thing as a loan. You give.
That is my sword. I let you borrow it.
This is not an argument that's happening because they don't buy swords anyways.
My sword was given to me. I let you borrow it.
I don't know that.
I just said it. Eldon said that, not Adam.
So, right near, you see a Forge Fire smithy, and right next door to it, there's a Forge Fire armory. And what kind of upgrades are you looking to do for your armor, your jacket? As you take it off, and you have no shirt on.
I'll just fit right in.
They don't even. They're just like.
Did you just do a Brad Pitt? You just slid off the jacket and like ripped.
No, I'm doing that like classic. It looks like I grab like the back and it just all comes off in like one quick.
You do that, and then like one of the people in
Daft
the back
Punk
is just
starts
like,
playing.
oh. Another one is like,
I really wanted you to do the Brad Pitt where it slides off and he's like.
what do your companions see when you take your shirt off?
So now it's been a little while. You'd notice his tattoo used to go down just above his elbow. Now it looks like it goes down to his wrist, and there's more dots all the way up to his chest.
That weren't there before? Like the tattoo grew?
Right. So he's looking for anything that can make it higher AC or any sort of resistance to damage, because he got fucked up.
All right.
Eldon will also be looking for something to raise his AC.
So, what do you have right now in your inventory? Is it considered a gambeson, a leather jerkin? What are you wearing?
Technically, right now, I have a natural armor.
Okay. So you would need to start with.
I am proficient with light and medium armor.
What's your dex modifier?
+2.
All right, this wouldn't help you. Light and what? Medium?
Light and medium. I mean, if I just bought off the rack, I could get like the equivalent of a chain shirt, which would make my AC the same as right now.
So in our Armorer's Handbook, who's this by? Armorer's Handbook by Heavy Arms.
I believe the first is resistance to slashing and nullification of the first 6 points of slashing damage.
You said +2, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So chain shirt. It's called a mail shirt. There's no disadvantage to stealth, and it's 13 plus your dex modifier. So then the first, second, and third tier medium armor. So so I think you have to go in order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't get the second tier till you get something of the first.
Right,
I
so-
think it's the very first one is the resistance to slashing.
Yes. So they explain to you for 1,000 gold. While wearing the armor, you will, if you would take 6 or less non-magical slashing damage before the resistance is applied, you take none instead.
Yep, can't afford it.
Champagne taste.
But for your, we can consider your coat light armor for the purposes of some of these upgrades, meaning like breathable. Like they could try to help and make it more breathable. So you have advantage on saving throws against exhaustion due to extreme heat. You're in the heat. That's 100 gold. You can add a climbing harness.
Don't need it.
You are not, you have a spellcasting focus, right?
Yes, my weapon.
Right. Insulated, they kind of go through the things that you can do, and then you can think about it and see if you want to come back.
Yeah, I don't think I can get anything. I don't think anything.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
You say it was 1,000 gold.
1,000 gold to do the armor proofing first tier, which is if you're wearing it and you would take 6 or less non-magical slashing damage before the resistance is applied, you take none.
Okay. Is there any like off the rack armor? Like I have the gambeson. It was the leather that you said that counts as like the undercoat.
So the next one up would be a leather jerkin. That's 45 gold. That's
Why did you just look at me? I knew somebody was gonna.
12 plus
The way
your
you did it too, you were like
12 plus your dex modifier. What's your dex modifier?
Because I'm a child. I'm a perpetual child, sir.
my plus 4.
All right, so it would make your AC 16. What are you at now?
15.
Okay. So if you wanted to stick with light armor, they do have leather jerkins right off of the rack for 45 gold. Or medium armor, the next one up is going to be is the mail shirt for 60 gold, and that's 13 plus your dex modifier. It says max 2, but I'm not going to go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that second.
The mail
Tier?
shirt.
Yeah.
So that's medium armor.
Yeah, I should, as a ranger, I believe I'm proficient in light and medium, not
Okay.
heavy. Right? They don't rangers. Did you use heavy armor?
I made all of them in D&D Beyond, so you can just find it and swap out.
Oh, cool.
And if you want to sell your armor, you can do that.
The gambeson?
Yeah.
You don't need the gambeson like underneath it. For some reason,
Hold on.
I thought you needed the gambeson.
Oh no,
underneath it
you
to
do.
add.
You do. Sorry.
If it's realistic, that's that weird
so
quilted
actually-
padded coat that you have to wear.
It's only going to be 30 gold. And only because I'm not adding any kind of up charges right now because I'm more interested in the roleplay. But 30 gold for the mail shirt. Sorry. 45 gold.
45.
None of you fucking haggle.
This is not haggling time. You're in the midst of you're more lucky that you're
you
getting
gotta
it
wake
for the
up
price
to the world
that
that's
you're-
surrounding.
It's
We're
always haggling
stuck
time.
on an island with monsters. This is not a
I'll give
consumer's
you 2
market.
gold and 5 mangoes.
You know what they'll say? Get the hell out of here, and we'll take 1,600 mangoes from the
give-
person behind you.
You will give me 5 gold for listening to you.
So what did you call that on D&D Beyond?
It's called a mail shirt.
Just a mail shirt.
Yeah. All right.
I would like to not be squishy. As
Okay.
squishy. I don't want armor. Is there any way to find magically infused fabrics that will bring
No.
up my AC?
So, no, not in this world.
Okay, well, I'm fucked.
So you can find it, but you're more likely to find it out in the world or as you get to be higher level. Like a person who's just That's why I'm using this instead, because you can find rune stones. Like, you've heard of rune stones, but you've also heard that rune stones are You have to be in like a special guild in order to even work with them, and all of the guilds that are allowed to work with runestones, because the runes can get very, very epic in scale. They have to be part of the runesmiths guild that's organized by like the cities, and there are rogue people out there. Not to say that there aren't, but this is to get around the everything is magical thing. So like the armors and stuff that they got is adding stuff, but it doesn't make them automatically magical things.
I'm gonna put my ear to the ground for the black market runestone people to enhance my clothing so I don't have to wear fucking gambeson or chainmail.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Kai might need to do that because he can't upgrade his weapon or anything.
I imagine I'd be aware of at least one black marketeer.
You are aware that in the South Ward there is a night market, or at least there was. I mean, it's nothing that you ever went to, but at night, there is the black market down there. The South Ward, when we scroll out here, is an unprotected area of the city out here that you have to go through the South Gate. It would kind of, all of this is possible, but just keeping in mind nobody's out here in the street right now in the middle of the day talking about the black market. So if you're keeping your ear out, you'll probably want to be in areas where they're talking about such things. And if you were to just kind of show up, it would be like showing up in real life too. Like if you just showed up at a black market tomorrow.
Well then.
So I'm just saying, I will keeping in mind, but you're gonna have to put yourself in the position of where that information is being shared, as you guys are kind of walking through. And
We may have a better chance at the South Ward. I don't know anybody there. We might have to go to some more shady places. But we might find, if we make the right connections, we might find some useful items that are not readily available here. But we must wait till sundown.
That's fine. Let's find Enrique until then.
Yes. I need to get my hood and cloak and hide my tail.
I just wanted to. So with the armor that I bought, is that a max of the +2? I'm not quite sure how it works. I was asking.
His dex is +4, so that'd make him a 17 AC.
no.
This early on? Goddamn!
Yeah, you would have to go up to either a hauberk to get the +4, 14 +2 for 16. That would be 250.
Okay. So what would I be at with the? Well, the.
You are better off with your leather jerkin. With a leather jerkin.
Okay. All right.
So that's only 30 gold.
Okay. And that. What was the bonus for that? I'm not sure how.
It's a 12 +4.
Okay. So that I just look up leather. Jerkin.
Leather jerkin, yeah, you can add it.
So I'll get rid of this. Sorry, when you were talking, I thought you said don't worry about just.
Yeah,
the
I did,
+2.
but then I saw how high it can get, and at a
Okay.
brigandine you'll end up at like a 19 for $500.
I didn't get like 17 AC, so like level fucking 10.
Yeah.
That's
The last game.
That's why it does it, because it
Ours
needs you
was
to
at-
upgrade.
I was at that at like level 4, but
That's
I was a fighter that was
part
based
of
for
the reason
that.
why Kai doesn't wear armor, because if I wanted to, I would just be in a chain shirt and shield, and then that would
Right.
screw up Izzy's monster encounters, because you have everyone squishy, and then a 17 kind of throws everyone else off.
Right. So, yeah, and they want you to upgrade. They want you to go up. That's why it's a 15 plus your dex, a 14 plus your dex. So.
Yep. So you said that was just 30.
All right.
Thanks, Pat. That's why I was
So
asking.
you
I was
know-
like, what the fuck? How do I do this? 30.
You know, trinkets and things that are sold in general. There's a lot of helpful stuff out there. It's all kind of random, though, and higher level magic that's used to protect people. Like the average person isn't just walking down the street getting a +3 AC necklace and walking around with it and stuff like that. So any shady things or any things that are more likely to be managed by the government. This is a port city, so it's probably coming through, but you're going to need connections. You're going to need to go to the places where people know what's going on in South Ward. But everybody knows that there's a black market there. Just nobody talks about it. So you head through the north side of the Glee Gardens, and as you're walking through, you do, at one point, you hear come from behind you this like little like, ah, holy shit. And you turn around, and before you can say or do anything, and Ayla, as you're about to go like, Kai, you get a spray of something in your face. And it catches you off guard. The rest of you all see probably one of the tallest humans that you've ever seen. Like a tall, lanky, skinny human guy. He's wearing just like very light clothing, and he's got this weird contraption on his back that he's wearing, kind of like a backpack, and then he has this kind of like gun in his hand. And there's a quick moment of like panic, I guess, for you and Kethra, who's just like, oh my god, the two of you know this is Spritz. And Spritz likes to go around the city and just kind of spritz people who look like they're hot. Like they don't kind of belong there. So you don't even catch, like your eyes, like you close, there's
what
like
the hell?
a momentary panic, but also it feels really nice. And he just keeps going. He's got like the long legs, like picture like Jack Skellington type person, where like his legs are just going, and he's just like, psh, and he's just spraying people. You know that some people don't take kindly to this, and like he's been knocked to the ground before or whatever, but he just gets up and keeps going.
It's okay. It is what he does.
Kai's hand like glows and then goes dim like really fast.
He didn't even acknowledge you. He's just like, you'll cut. Just keeps going.
He believes he is doing non-locals a favor. Since you are usually not accustomed to the heat and humidity here.
A lot of strange customs here.
Oh, I mean, it is not a custom. It is just something he does.
A lot of strange people then.
Yeah, we are an eclectic bunch.
You hear another, ah!
My eye!
He's just walking around with a backpack super soaker.
It's like this strange, like as you watch him walk away, it's just like, yeah, it's like this strange little contraption that's holding clearly like a lot of fresh water that he's just misting people with, but not giving them a heads up. Like it's a very refreshing feeling once you know, like, you know what it is, but he's just.
Are you feeling refreshed?
No. I'm feeling damp.
Dry, so, oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, it would take a little bit to dry, and there's a nice breeze here through the city, but still, it's warm. You continue on your way. You're going through, walking up this like kind of main road, past Proud Gwyn's. You know that the Painted Wardrobe. It takes you a little while to get there, but you just kind of go up this main street here, running parallel to the arts, to Stage Street, until finally you're just about around the corner when Iolite, you feel somebody press up against you, like push up against you, and look down and you see a young like street urchin type kid who's just kind of like leaned up against you for just a second too long, and then has continued on as if, you know, no stopping or whatever. But when you stop and look back at them, they look over their shoulder at you and then keep going real quick down the road.
Did he take my shit?
Make
Would I know? I mean, I'm like savvy enough that I would like have an idea. Maybe that's what's happening. I would think.
I mean, yes.
Because
and
I've
I
lived
think,
here
like,
long enough.
Most people would know that if like somebody you don't know in a big city leans up against you for a long time, more than a quick brush. Even then, some people are really quick with their hands.
Yeah.
You immediately have that like feeling.
You feel lighter.
Yeah.
Suddenly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna check my pockets, I guess.
So you kind of like reach around and are like checking as you're walking, and you actually find something inside of your pocket.
What?
You reach in and there's something in your pocket, and it's wrapped in what feels to be like a stone, that's wrapping a stone.
It's wrapping.
It's wrapping a stone.
And I didn't read them, even though they were on the table for 2 days.
That one wasn't.
Several of them were.
She made ones just in case you let loose. She knew that you were.
She has to know that I'm
It's like when you
honest,
tell
she
different
done
people
all
different
fuck.
secrets, and
No,
you
no,
know
it's-
which one.
it's
Do
like-
I know that?
It's like the
place?
memos that all have subtle
know the place, and
typos.
you
So when
recognize
they
the handwriting.
realize
Yeah.
the typo that got out, they know who they sent it
So
to.
you
Who's the
recognize
leaker?
the handwriting, and there's that immediate sense of like your stomach and your heart just like merging into one, as you know exactly who this is, and you would know who it is.
Do I notice any change in her demeanor?
And hold on a second. And when you unwrapped it, actually inside of it was a small stone, probably about that big. An inch. The smoothest, round, kind of flat stone, black with little speckles of white in it. That's just like impossibly polished.
All right.
Are you trying to hide your demeanor?
Yeah.
You're trying to be normal? All right,
Yeah, I'm
make
trying to be
a
normal.
deception check. And you can make a... are you watching her? Like,
Always watching her.
okay. I'm going to...
Even when I'm in front of her, I'm constantly turning around to make sure she is okay.
All right, I will say
Which is what's happening right now.
make a perception. Or insight, insight.
Oh, ooh, that's not good.
I'm gonna use my
8.
inspired action to be sneakier.
What are you doing to
Before
inspire?
you do it, because I rolled an 8, and I heard you go, oof.
I am still gonna do it. I'm gonna like pretend to sneeze and like put it in my pocket really fast.
Hacho! Was it a nat 1?
Yes.
Oh, you
Plus-
did just do a super loud.
Well, the
fix.
first one was a 3.
Oh,
Do I have to
alright,
use
this
the
right.
one?
Oh, yeah, right. That's your
No, because that gives
Yeah.
you advantage.
Yeah.
You take
Okay,
that.
so I can use the
Yeah.
3 deception.
Yeah.
That's a 2 now.
Okay.
It's better than a 0. You have a minus?
That's
Yeah,
yeah.
you would have had a 0.
It was a minus
You notice. I mean, it's just for a second because your roll was not great, but like it's just for a second. But it's like one of those like, something's. weird.
What did I notice? Did I notice the kid, or did I turn
You
around
asked
and notice
if
like
you
her?
noticed that her demeanor changed.
Okay.
So
So
you
I
would
would've just
notice
turned
that
around and be like-
something is up. Like not necessarily saw anything in her hand or anything like that. You just noticed that she's changed. She looks upset or different.
I'm wheezing.
Big
How did a human just make a baby moose noise? That was
I was
perfect.
gonna say, it sounds
not
like
quite
when,
human.
it sounds like when two stones rub up against each other.
I'm grinding my teeth, and it sounds like stones rubbing together. Yep.
Everything okay?
Oh yeah, everything's good. Totally great.
Do I believe her?
Well, you kind of already.
I rolled.
Yeah, you already rolled. So you know something's up.
Okay. Come, walk with me.
Okay.
I just
Are you
kinda-
leaving the rest of them behind?
No, we're all walking together. I just like, instead of her being behind me, I just have her next to me.
Okay. All right. So, anything else?
And I'm just like,
Just would we be able to mentally clock, since we're following them, see that there's like a little interaction weirdness in them? Just passive, wasn't like actively
I
looking.
think with the rolls that were made, even with all of your passives, like you all
We
kind
all
of-
knew something
you
happened.
all
We just don't
figure-
know what.
Yeah, Iolite has the best passive perception of all of you, but given those really, really bad rolls, you can see that like something happened. You didn't really necessarily, or maybe you did notice the kid who bumped up again, but you don't know what's going on. But all right, you round the corner and find yourself in front of the painted wardrobe. So as you turn the corner, and it has been a while, as I said, you typically have Enrique go to you. You see this storefront. It's still in the arts district, so as you're walking, flowers, I mean, this is not a boring city whatsoever. The decorations are everywhere. So this doesn't particularly stand out, except for the beautifully done hand-painted murals that appear to be on the outside of this establishment. There are vibrant scenes that seem to capture all of these fantastical elements. You see like dragons and unicorns and just like all of this fantasy stuff on the outside. There's whimsical patterns that kind of start and end, and all these intricate scenes that are on the outside of it. And I'm going to have everybody make a perception check real quick. Where are all of my dice? Not me.
Is it these?
It is, all of them.
Oh no.
oh, that's a nat 20.
There we go.
Thank you.
Perception, that's a 22.
Okay.
Perception. I was about to complain that this is in my way, but
Would you say
I
it
will
was,
not.
It's
12. Perception, right?
a little change. Just feeling
Yeah.
good now.
Did you say
Perception.
Perception.
5.
Okay.
22.
All right.
Roll a 19. I think
All
it's
right.
the first good roll I've gotten on these dice.
You do notice as you, those of you who rolled,
Everyone but Kai.
yeah, everyone but Kai.
Just too focused on the shirts.
Let's see.
Looking at the
let's see
shirts
if
in the
Kethra
window
rolled
with all the
something
ruffles,
decent.
you know, and all the extra buttons.
And Kai and Kethra, who rolled a natural one. Kethra seems very distracted. So you come around, and the three of you notice that it appears that the images on the outside are moving ever so slightly. Not enough like a Harry Potter photo type movement where things are very clear. It's like this very, very, very subtle movement depending on what you're looking at. So like a dragon's wings might very slowly be flapping. Like if you sat there long enough, you might get a full round of a flap. The intricate patterns are just very, very slightly moving. And that's what you see on the outside before you head in.
When Eldon sees the dragon that you described, like Theratrick, I'm gonna feel like Theratrick. Someone's like vibrate, like he's just happy to see that. He's just like, yeah, he's just like vibrate.
Yeah, there's all random scenes. So when you head in, there's a little, jingle on the door as you walk in, and you can see there are other patrons in here. It is lively, it's eclectic in here. There are racks of garments that are in all different styles and colors. They are lining the walls. Each one is a testament to the artistic vision of Enrique. Fabrics range from rich velvets and embroidered silks to flowing chiffons and shimmering satins. You can find everything from like a everyday evening gown to some kind of eccentric fantasy wear that if you need something special. You do see right away a human guy who is at the moment talking to someone else. He's got one of those like very over the top Elvis hairstyles. It's just like the
Pompadour.
big, huge one. Yep, and very like greased, but he is dressed in clearly one of his own creations.
Tiny tangent, but for some reason, some Japanese people have this huge fascination with our 50s culture. Mm-hmm. So they ride like old like chopper bikes, but with these huge crazy pipes coming out of them and stuff like that. And they have this, I can't remember what they call it, but there's an entire subculture of guys with that hair, but it's not like the way we did it, was like the greaser hair. It's like ridiculous. Like I don't even understand how they like don't do that without
they take
plaster.
everything to the extreme. There's all
We are on different pages because I pictured Enrique as a small version of the dude, the judge guy from like America's Next Top Model. I don't remember his name. He's like,
Well, I'm just going off of what she said, but
I know,
version.
I'm just picturing. He's like, just nobody knows. He's like, oh, that outfit is horrendous. Like,
yeah, no,
he's like a fucking older guy.
No,
but he's
I
like
know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy.
No,
that guy.
That's
That's what I pictured. But brown.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, Enrique's brown. He is a human with this, big, overly styled hair. And as you come in, you can see that the entire thing, behind all of the clothing, behind all of the silks and everything, are more murals that are all hand painted.
It's like a cockatoo. Like the way they do it. Like it's awesome, but it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like you said, they take everything to the extreme.
Yeah, they have all kinds of...
More steam.
I mean, yeah, like what the fuck, man?
There has to be like infrastructure inside that.
Yeah.
That holds
They
it.
could
Lots
probably
of
kill a
hairspray.
man with that. They just,
Well, that's where he keeps a katana. The Shinto is the smaller one, the Shinto blade.
So you see the entire thing covered in this beautiful mural, lots of different designs, different from what was on the outside. And Eldon, you actually immediately, there's a moment of recognition between you and Theratrix as what you are looking at in the back wall that's covering behind what would be like the counter and everything is a full, beautifully done mural of the Vascand mountain range. With flowers all over and all different
is it
designs.
moving? Like
You're
the front
kind of
one
too
did?
far away at the moment to see, but when you're looking at the walls next to you, those are like, it's one of those things where you have to stop and like look at it, and then you can see the movement in it. So, assuming. But as you all walk in, you see the proprietor who's been chatting with someone else. He goes, "Oh, Ayla! Welcome in!"
I'm going to use thaumaturgy. It's like, Enrique!
Hey,
my voice
Ayla!
is booms, and I
He
turn
comes
all the
over.
lights in his place, like rainbow
Hey!
colored. Like, whatever light it was, it just flares in just different colors.
All the people inside are like, "Oh." He's like, Ayla, one of my best customers. All right, come over here. What are you doing? And there's making an insight check, actually.
17.
Nice.
You see on his face as he's welcoming you in, there's like this very strange mixture of emotions that he goes through, where he sees you and there's surprise and there's like, oh, holy shit, and like, wow, welcome, and there's Iolite and great, and then he sees Kethra and Kai and Eldon behind you, and his face gives him away for a split second, where there's this momentary fear, real fast, but it's there, and he just is like, "Hey, welcome in. Come on. It's great to see. What are you doing here in my? You haven't been here in forever. I'll come to you. You don't need to come all the way out here."
Yes, but it is pressing times, different times, as you are well aware. My friend here, and I use the term loosely, needs a shirt, and perhaps you could tailor something for him.
Of course. I don't even need to tailor anything. Kind of looks you up and down, goes around. I'm Enrique, by the way. He does a fist bump. Kai, nice to meet you. And you are
Eldon.
Eldon.
And this is Theratrix. And he's
Theratrix.
like poke his head out.
Nice to meet you. Okay.
That's a perfect reaction.
Kethra, great to meet you. Iolite, great to see you.
You too.
Are you gonna get something today?
I might poke around.
I think you should. I haven't been
maybe.
able to take your measurements yet. Maybe I can take your measurements. Maybe I can take your measurements
Let them
today.
take your measure.
All right, maybe you can take my
I'm
measurements.
gonna take your measurements today.
What's the lyrics
think
to
they're
Brick
gonna
House?
take
Like
her
36, 22, 24.
I'm gonna take your measurements before you go. Don't leave without me taking your measurements. I gotta write them down so I can make you something real special. Right on the house. Right on the house, Ayla.
It is nothing is on the house. We pay for good
Oh, of
work.
course. No, of course. Melpomene is great for her money, of course. Yeah. So what are you looking for? You're looking for, I can replace this old dirty coat. Definitely 100% too. If you need a new coat, I've got coats galore. There are tons of coats. There's
No,
the most eccentric coats you've ever seen in your life.
no, that'll be unnecessary. My coat's fine.
He's attached to that one.
Oh, I get it. Of course.
I'll need
Don't touch it.
I'll need a practical shirt.
He needs something to cover his nipples.
Well, lucky for you, about 80% of my shirts cover the nipples. Let's go check them out.
But only 20% cover the nipples and the belly button.
I'm just picturing one where the nipples are cut out.
There's plenty of those.
This is a straight t-shirt with the nipples cut out.
Just make those
Guys, I'll take
pale
that
nipples.
There are mesh shirts. There's all range of shirts. There's shirts that are actually just stripped down the center. He shows you all of the shirts, just in case you change your mind and you want them, to breathe.
Don't want any chafing.
No.
Because I'm going to laugh myself into.
He goes through and shows you all
If
of
anything
these
of a Tanian design, more specifically, Devanyan region.
I think I can find something that's close. I got something that's close. We get all types here.
Black.
Black is gonna be Alara! Just kind of yells out, and you hear from the back, "Yes, honey. We got any black shirts?" "Sorry, Mrs. Jameson. I don't usually yell like that. You know me." Another patron was like, "Oh my gosh." Oh my gosh, that yell. You see coming around the bend, around the bend and come down some stairs, you see this human woman. She comes down. Her hair is not as extravagant. It's beautifully done, but more subdued and lots of braids. And there's probably a lot of hair, but it's up and braided and just wearing some simple clothing. Nothing overly over the top, but she has a set of overall type clothing on, like a jumpsuit, like what Julie was wearing last week. But there's paint all over it, and she comes down the stairs, and you see that she actually has a stick that she's using to kind of tap the floor as she comes down the steps and then comes around.
For some reason in my head I had from oh god, I can't even remember the movie, the Pixar movie with the superheroes.
Incredibles?
What's her name? Edna?
Oh, Edna Mode.
That's what I was thinking of until you know
Oh,
what I
yeah,
mean?
no. She's this kind of tall, svelte kind of woman. She comes down. They both look to be in their 30s, 40s, maybe 30 or 40. And she taps her walking stick as she comes around the bench. She's got a brush in one hand and the stick in the other. And he rushes over and then kind of guides her over to you all. Alara knows where all of my shit is. So, Alara, do we have any black? This young gentleman here, Kai, would like some Devanyan attire, and he prefers black. And Alara, he kind of faces her towards you, and she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I would shake your hand, but I have kind of two hands. I'm Alara Brushstroke, Enrique's wife." And he goes, "Oh, my manners. Yes, Alara." He says, "She's the one who paints all of these beautiful murals everywhere. Decorates our shop. It's the best thing about the shop," because they're on the forehead.
Your work on the back wall of the Vestgen. It's beautiful.
She turns towards your voice, and you can see she's kind of like looking in the direction of you, but there is no real recognition that you are there in a particular spot. She looks in your direction. She says, "Oh, thank you. I actually didn't know what it was called until just now. So, the Vascand Mountains. It's a real place."
It is in Aporia,
Oh,
across the ocean.
interesting. Well, it's absolutely beautiful. So,
As is all of your work.
thank you. I'm jealous that you get to see the view probably frequently if you can recognize it from my painting, which is, I'm sure, nothing like it in real life.
It's quite close, actually. It's incredibly lifelike and detailed. It was my home. Is my home.
Very lucky. Very lucky. It was beautiful to paint. It was absolutely beautiful to paint.
And it's beautiful to see, and it's nice to get a taste of home. So
I do recommend getting closer. There are lots of details in there that you can't really see from far away. Like once you get really in there.
I will. Thank you. And at that, he's gonna leave the crew so they can take care of Kai. He's gonna move that direction.
Okay. So you see Ilara, the wife of Enrique, who you've never met, having only come to the store once, twice before Enrique would make house calls directly to the Starlight Concert Hall. She is a kind of svelte human woman, dark hair, all in braids that are up on her head, and wearing a kind of a jumper, something like what Julie was wearing last week.
Like a onesie?
Romper.
Yeah, a romper.
A romper, there
That's
you
what
go.
it's called, a romper. But it's got paint all over it, and she has a paintbrush in one hand and a walking stick in another, as you have obviously deduced that she is blind. But she is the one who has painted everything in this place.
I just thought she was a crippled artist.
No, you would have noticed as she came down, she was using it to denote where she was walking. So Enrique says, "Oh, and also Ayla is here, Ilara, and she's right over here." He kind of shifts her just very slightly so that she's facing in your direction. And Ilara just nods in your direction, says, "Oh, I've heard so much about you. Ayla, I sorry I haven't gone to any of your shows. I've heard it's mostly dancing, and I typically enjoy like singing."
I do not blame you. I am not the best singer. I take her hand and
She's got like
From my
a
hand.
paintbrush in one, so she
I
lets you.
still take it. It is a pleasure.
Wonderful to meet you. My husband talks about you all the time, and Melpomene and all the others in your establishment. Very interesting costumes you have us make now and again.
Well, we are performers.
Of course.
There is the flair. Do you paint?
Yeah, he let you know that she painted everything, outside and inside.
It is breathtaking.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do not think I have seen anything quite like it.
Well, me either. I guess. And as you were standing there, what you missed was that Eldon told her that she had painted the Vascan Mountains, and she indicated that she did not know what that was. She did not know that was the Vascan Mountains, so she told him to get closer. And he has left your group to go take a closer look.
Does he fall into the painting?
What did I just come back to?
Black shirt, though. We do have some. It's not the most popular color in the city, as it absorbs the sun, and it will, just so that you know, it will make you much hotter than you already are. If you're new here And
He is a glutton for pain. He will take it gladly.
we have some lighter clothing, but perhaps we could recommend. And she kind of like tilts her body to Enrique a little bit. Maybe like a darker, maybe like a blue even, or some other color than black. And he's got his hand around her waist, and he looks at you. Black. Are you married to black? Are you married to black? We got blues. We've got even like a green. Will help you out.
No, black is fine.
I told you.
You see a little squeeze on her hip from his hand, and she's like, "Okay, I'll go take. I was gonna say take a look.
Oh, that's
but-
insensitive.
No, she's was going to say. She says that to you, and she kind of like turns and does a little smile. She's like, "Are they laughing?" And Enrique's like,
I like that she
"No,
gives,
they
like,
didn't get it. They didn't
like
get
a
it.
wink.
You know, not everybody gets you."
Well, that's one of those
We're like,
jokes
is it
where-
okay to laugh?
She can.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those like, should I? They made the joke, so should I laugh or should? That's just.
Enrique's like, they're not funny people. They're dancing people. They're dancing people. Don't judge them too harshly, okay? And he
Comedians.
kisses her on the forehead. And she's like, "Okay, I'll be back. And she taps her way and starts heading back. In the meantime, you can peruse around. Eldon, as you have to go like around the counter if you want to get really up close, but you head up to the counter area, we'll say. You can let me know if you feel comfortable going behind the counter at the establishment to get closer.
If she had said to, then yes.
Okay. So you step up behind, and there's a little platform there, and then you can get up close and just kind of, as you've gotten closer, there are little, almost like Easter eggs hidden throughout this painting. Things that someone would have to visit to know. It's strange to say, but as you get closer, it's almost like you recognize some tree patterns. You recognize little shacks that actually exist there.
Little Jeep Wrangler going up the side. No.
One of the areas that you
Built
see,
Ford, tough.
you see just a hint of what you believe, like if the painting were to continue, would be your home.
The one of
Stone
the-
yard,
Okay.
which I believe is what you called it. Stone yard.
Stone yard. I think last time I accidentally said stone post, but stone yard. So,
You
would
just
I?
see a hint of it.
Me and you, the only
Would-
people watching.
I'm not.
Would there be in the mountains themselves? Do I see any of the keeps? Like
Yes.
in the-
Yep, you see all of that. You see little paths that lead through. It's as if you're looking at the mountain, except it painted. It's clearly painted. It's not 100% realistic. There's little movement as well as you watch it. Again, so slight. It's not like you're watching people walk around or anything, but there's like a breeze that goes through. It's almost like watching the leaves on the trees. And make an investigation or a perception check as you check out this painting.
11. And a +3 to perception. So.
You are looking, and the ceiling is taller than you, obviously, and the walls are fairly high for this area, and the mountain goes up pretty high. The mountain's range, and you swear as you're down there looking, you can kind of see something that's like perched up on one of the mountains, but you're too low to see.
Can I send third? How high is it roughly?
It's probably 8 or 9 feet up. It's like the top of, but it's like small, so like you could see it's there, but you can't see any details.
If I have Theratrix come out, can I I know he can't fly. He more glides.
He can go like,
Could
he can go
Because
up.
I believe you said he had like a 10
10 foot.
foot like hover, but he can't just fly off.
Right.
So I can boost him up.
Yep. He
He does it without a thought because he's so focused that he doesn't think of what other customers or whatever.
Yeah.
think.
You let him loose and he flies up. You see a couple of people go like, oh, and Enrique is like, oh. Don't let it shit on my on my floor, on my clothes, please. And he just turns back to you.
I just want Theratix to turn around and be like, I do not shit.
I'm not a poopa. So he hovers up there, flapping a little bit, and then heads back down. There's a little swirl back down to you, and he says, "It looks like a large dragon with a rider on it."
Eldon's gonna like put his hand on the painting. It's and just like think, just thinking for himself. That's all.
No, it's you touch.
You have found a portal.
Like
make travel a lot
story
easier.
is different. It's cool to the touch, the walls, so it's made of this kind of stone, concrete, wood, mixed depending on where you're touching. But it's just like solid. The paint is dry, despite the fact that it's moving a little bit. So
Yeah, like seeing home in such detail literally brings like a single, like that old Indian commercial with the pollution just like one tear
oh yeah.
rolls down his face.
Single tear.
So while you wait for Ilara, Enrique comes over to you, Ayla. Hey, Ayla. So, I'm just gonna borrow Ayla for a minute. All right? Sorry, Mrs. Jameson. I'll be right with you, okay? I apologize. I'm not usually... There's not usually... It's not so busy.
Oh, my word.
It's okay.
Well, I never.
Ayla. That Ayla, she's a menace.
So he brings you over...
You said that in like a very like
James.
Al Pacino.
No, I was trying to do
Here's a menace!
I know, I'm trying to do James, Spider-Man. He's a menace.
He kind of pulls you over a little bit to the side so people could come in, and every once in a while he's like, hey, as he's talking to you. But he says, listen, I know why you're here, all right? So I just need you to tell Melpomene, I'm good for it, right? I know you came in here with a little bit of, some cell swords. Not necessary. She knows I'm good for it. She knows I'm good for all this stuff. I haven't received anything from Lunu in 7 days. And when I receive what I get, I'm still working on the stuff that she sends me, but not necessary to really send you here. Also, though, I get it. I hear her loud and clear. So if she could just give me more of the pigments, though. I mean, Ilara, it's what keeps her happy. She needs it. It brings her joy, her happiness. Yamari Island, that's what it's all about, right? So if you could just go back to Melpomene, tell her I'm sorry. I'll get her what she's looking for. Hey. But in the meantime, it's not my fault that Lunu hasn't given me the stuff. Okay?
She wants to make sure that you know what this stuff is.
I mean, we've been doing this for years now. Of course I know what the stuff is. Is this some kind of trick?
You know how it goes.
Well, I've got her latest batch. If you'd like to take it, I can give you some of the scrunchies and scarves I've been making for her.
Scrunchies.
That is not the way I thought this was going to go, but I will take a little sample. Just to make her happy.
All right. I've got a beautiful hairpin that I've been working on the side. I can give it to you. You can give it to her as a sign of, my goodwill. I've got it. Again, I can't do anything if Lunu doesn't give me the stuff. So,
I understand. And I am sure that she will as well.
okay.
And believe it or not, these are kind of actually my friends.
Sure they are. So, listen.
We just came across an illegal, not quite drug running ring with scrunchies and little armbands.
I just need to know that she's going to come by, or I can go by and I can get the pigments. Because Ilara's running out. And you see these beautiful paintings, she can't do them without these pigments.
They are magnificent.
They are magical, literally.
I will make sure that the pigments will flow.
Okay, so I will go, and once she comes back with whatever shirt she can find for your guard, I will.
Friend, associate.
Sure, your associate.
Yes.
I will go get
You might
some of the
you-
hairpins.
Perfectly. When you said Al Pacino before, that's
He's a friend of ours.
I know
He's a
Melpomene
friend of the
listens to
family.
you, so just let her know it's not Ilara's fault, okay? It's not her fault that all of this is happening. And Melpomene also needs to understand things have been disrupted. There are monsters out there now.
They are certainly chaotic times.
The port is not as safe as it was. People used to be able to, plan on coming up to a certain point and having to fight off whatever's out there, and then they would safely come in. That's not what's happening anymore.
What do you know of the South Gate? Right? That's what it's called? South Gate? Southport?
South Gate. So the South Gate leads to the South Ward.
What do you know of the South Gate? Any change?
I don't hang around down there. I know I said that I talked to Lunu. That's his deal. I don't hang around down there. Besides this thing with Melpomene, this is the only thing I do.
I have business down there. I need a name.
Well, you're gonna have to talk to Lunu.
And are they in the Southport?
No.
Where are they?
Melpomene hasn't told you where Lunu is?
Not it recently.
Well, he hasn't moved. Listen, he's in the port. He's in the port. Blacksmith down in the port.
Ah, yes. That does kind of ring a bell.
I guess it makes sense she wouldn't tell you all the things just to get you down here with your posse. But just let her know.
The hired goons.
You Mari goons.
Just let her know.
Mari goons.
Oh, we just become the goon squad?
Yeah.
Just let her know. Ilara doesn't
tell
need
Pat
to
when
be
he comes
punished.
back. We're the goon squad.
He's gonna go, no.
What happens when you leave the room?
So I can count on you to, I just the pigments. I'll give you the hairpin so you can show her.
Yes, yes.
And a scarf if you want. You can show her that.
The hairpin will be fine.
All right. Great talking to you.
Yes.
Can I get you anything?
Oh, no. I am good for now.
All right. Mrs. Jameson. He goes over and starts talking to this other person. And as you wait a few more moments, Ilara comes back down the stairs. This time, no brush in hand, and it looks like she's kind of cleaned up her hands a little bit so she wouldn't get this shirt dirty. And Enrique meets her at the base of the stairs, grabs the shirt, and thanks her. All right. I got the shirt.
Kaya's gone.
He's gone!
And as he begins stepping over with the black shirt that appears
Did you want me to interrupt while he's gone?
Does it fit perfectly, or is it just like ever so too tight?
I wanted to show I wanted to be like so it shows his clavicle just
Yeah.
It's like a super V-neck.
with like that
Lunging
blousey,
V.
with that blousey bit that makes it fancy. Basically, an awesome power shirt, but in black.
well as
Good, baby. Very good.
as Enrique smiles with a big ol' smile and starts walking over to Kai with his new black shirt. That's where we'll take a break.
Oh, okay.
Standing within the painted wardrobe, after having done some shopping within the city of Mosswick, a little bit of weaponry, armor updates, and the like, you made your way to, again, the painted wardrobe where Enrique Brushstroke and wife Ilara Brushstroke, the proprietors, the artistes, the fashion designers, live and work. Within, you found a mural come to life Also without you found a mural come to life. However, the one inside of the establishment was that of the Vascan Mountains in very intricate detail. You also found an unusual conversation, Ayla, as Enrique took you aside, assuming that you knew about an arrangement that he apparently has with Melpomene. And his request to have additional pigments delivered to his wife, as she is an innocent in the fact that he is unable to get the stuff from Lunu.
How do you spell Lunu? Is it
L-U-N-
Lunu or Nunu?
L-U-N-U. L-U-N-U.
L-U-N-U.
Yes, Lunu. But we rejoin you as Ilara has come down from the stairs, handed over a black shirt to her husband Enrique. What does the shirt look like as he approaches you? All right, she got you this. This might be the only one we've had, actually. How's this gonna do?
That seems like that should be fine.
It's got a little V-neck, low cut.
It's like V-neck.
Looks like a magician.
It's like ruffles.
The arms are ruffles, but the V goes down to the belly button.
Not my normal style, but it is hot out.
It's mesh.
Well, that's the ones that show the nipples. He said he needed his nipples covered, so
Mesh with the nipple.
little X's. All right, so he says, "Here you go. On the house, anything that has to do with the Starlight Concert Hall, on the house." He looks at you, Ayla, and makes eye contact, nodding, smiles. Just tell your friends where you got it, of course. The painted wardrobe.
That's fair enough.
Anything else anybody wants or needs? We got scarves, we got whatever you want, really. Look around.
Is Alara alone?
Alara had come down the stairs, so she's just kind of standing at the stairs, kind of listening.
Yeah, he's gonna approach. So she's
She's at the base of the stairs, just
but
listening.
around,
Yeah.
whoa. Okay.
A little bit behind the group.
Do you have any hats?
You say that to her.
Yeah, just either of them, yeah. Both of them.
Enrique turns and looks at you and he says, "Hats. We have so many hats. Look at all of the hats over here on this wall. There's hats galore. Pompadours type hats. Like you could wear a hat that looks like the hair he's got. There's fedoras. There's like the gangster type hats that they would wear.
Scally cap.
There you go. Whatever kind of hat you want. They've got it."
Just because it would be fun, not that I'd ever actually he'd wear it, but he's gonna look for you ever see Pirates of the Caribbean? Mm-hmm. You ever see in the end the hat that Orlando really good. With the hat that Orlando Bloom wears in the end? It's like black and white and has like that really huge fucking feather on it.
It's only
Yeah.
curled on one side.
Yeah, it's curled on
Like
one
a
side like a
musketeer.
Three
Oh, yeah,
Musketeers
yeah,
hat.
Musketeer, there you go.
Yep, Enrique's like, "Yeah, I seen that movie. We have this over here. This one right here. We've seen that show." Is it white?
He's gonna be looking for one that matches the rest of his ensemble, which is like dark browns and greens.
Okay.
Now, whenever you're standing next to somebody, it's gonna be like Jack Sparrow. They're like, just like pulling it out of their face.
He puts the hat on your head.
Turn to the rest of the group like,
It looks perfect. It looks perfect on you, and it's on the house, so you can't go wrong.
he's like looking at Ayla like he's thinking like, do I look fancy?
It really brings the whole thing together.
Yeah. Well, because he's in his probably the opposite of Kai, where his cloak is totally fine,
Yeah.
but the rest of his clothes are traveling, adventuring clothes. So it's gonna be the fanciest thing he has. Is the hat.
I'd love to look for something that's like the equivalent of like a cloak or a cape with a hood, but like lightweight, because the cloak that she has is too heavy to actually wear. So something she can like throw on that's sort of like inconspicuous, but also
Okay.
not swelteringly hot.
You would know that there are a lot of outfits in the apartment that we live in.
Yeah, but I don't want to keep taking all your stuff. I think Iolite would like to have some things that are her own. She isn't just relying on your kindness all the time, although she very much appreciates it.
He brings you over to this this rack of cloaks that they have, and he's like, "This is one, the Starfire Stiletto. You know that? You know her?
Yeah.
She wears this all the time. You see her walking down the streets. It's lightweight, barely feel it." He pulls down one, and the color of your choosing. What color is it?
Well, it should be a light color, so it's not super hot, but not anything that's super eye-catching either. I think I'm just gonna look at Ayla. Like, what do you think? Do you have any ideas, suggestions here? This is I'm a little out of my element. I want to blend in, but maybe like she's like glances at Eldon, but she's like maybe like look kind of nice too.
But not
Maybe I like, want the guy in the hat to like think it looks kind of nice, but yeah.
I would say something in a jungle green, perhaps, with a light pattern.
Anything like that.
Well, I'm going to show you the collection we have for Queen Aurora Borealis. Over here, we've got these ones. She likes green. And he gets you one. A green one with like little stars embroidered inside of it.
Love it.
Perfect. And he keeps looking at you, like for your approval. Looks great.
Put it on and spin around.
It looks wonderful. Looks wonderful. On the house, of course.
It looks
Thank you.
beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Your hat's really sharp.
That little pause really sharp. Part of me wonders if they have a small one for Theratrix too.
A little hat.
Like a tiny little matching.
tiny hat. With a little elastic under his chin, like a cat hat.
Why am I doing this?
We have hats of all sizes here. We cater to all types. There are some small folk. We got some fairies that come here every once in a while.
Theratrix, would you like a fancy hat?
Would you like me to have a fancy hat?
I have one. Just get this giant feather. just smack somebody in the face with this giant feather.
We are brothers in scales. I will follow your lead.
Sure. Little hat for the dragon.
Of course. Of course.
Give me 10 minutes to sew a little strap.
Yeah, no, he does. He heads over to Alara and just says, "I'm gonna need a little something." So she heads up the stairs. So that's just it's special order.
This shopping trip just went into the goofy.
But a few minutes later, she comes back down with a hat special for Theratrix that matches yours. Not exactly, so that it's different.
He's gonna meet her at the stairs.
Okay.
And take the hat off and ask her. So he's talking to her alone, and she's blind.
Yep.
So he'll say her name, maybe touch her arm, just so she doesn't walk flush into him. Say, Alara, about your beautiful painting of the mountain range.
Yes.
My brother here, Theratrix will with his wing or something on her arm. We noticed that on the top of the painting, there's something a little strange, a little odd. There was a dragon with a rider.
Ah, yes.
You saw this?
Yes. I see everything that I paint. Yeah.
Do you know? Does she see in color? And I know that's a weird question, but she's blind, so I don't know how it works.
The murals are all incredibly colorful.
And what color was the dragon in the mural?
It was more of a shadow.
Oh, okay.
So it was more of a silhouette. While it was very detailed, not detailed enough to get into people, the intricacies of people.
When you paint things and you see them, do they come in dreams, Or do you see them?
No, it's more of as I'm painting, I can just see it as if I'm looking at. It's as if I'm standing there, really, and I just paint what I see.
Okay. Oh. Thank you. He has all his questions swirling in his mind, but he can't get any of them out. Just like me right now. Okay. Well, thank you. And he'll put his hand out for the little hat.
Yeah.
Forgetting momentarily that she's blind.
She kind of holds out the hat.
Yeah.
Assuming that you're.
Yeah, and he'll take it and he'll put it in the little elastic, so we match.
Thera turns and looks at everyone, all the rest of the group from over in the corner, just like.
He's gonna
Looks really good.
He can glide in a little circle with his little fancy hat and feather. And
people are like, oh.
When he flies the hat, holds on by the chin strap.
So cute.
Enrique's like, I should hire you to bring people in. That's a great gimmick.
He's my brother.
Of course he is. Yeah, of course he is. Enjoy your free clothing.
I slip him.
I really don't need any. Just what we talked about.
It is my appreciation.
Thank you. But this doesn't
Cover all of this shit.
Actually, 15 times more than that. This doesn't negate what we talked about.
Of course not.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Elara appreciates it.
Of course.
Have a wonderful day. Enjoy. Don't be too hot. Except in the clothes that you're wearing.
We do look quite hot.
Bada bing.
Bada boing. All right, so you head out back into the streets of Mosswick. Where are you going?
When Eldon turns, he doesn't realize, but poor Mrs. Jameson gets smacked by the feather.
Oh. It's okay. All right, where are you headed? You head back outside.
What time is it?
It's probably the sun. It's like 5 o'clock. It's getting dark, but lively. Still just as lively as if the suns were all the way up.
We will go back. I must change. I would not wear that hat where we are going.
Why?
Because you will get stabbed.
Noted. On the way, would there be time on the way back to stop and get my bow? Or is it not? Would it not be done yet?
Yeah, we'll say you head back down. Your bow is ready. Yeah, you're fine.
Did I take my staff when we were there earlier?
Yeah.
Right. Well, then we get their shit, then we would go back
Okay.
to my home. And
Okay, you go back to the Starlight concert.
Going to the fucking black market dressed the way I am.
So where are you going?
We're going down
You're going to the South Ward.
to the docks, I guess, to
Those
find
are-
Lulu, who will know shit about the black market.
Yeah, so those are two different places.
Oh.
The port is here, along here, and the South Ward is here. And this is where you know that the black market takes place, but that's not where he told you the...
And I don't know anybody here. So I just know of a Lulu somewhere over here.
He told you that Lunu will
Lunu.
be able to help you, and that he's in, or that Lunu is where he gets his stuff, and that's out in the port. And he doesn't hang around out in South Ward.
Alright.
Enrique does not hang out in the South Ward. He's up here. So you head back to...
I did not ask where this fucking Lunu was, other than the docks.
Well,
Yeah, you did just say... He just told you the docks.
didn't you? Well, I don't want to Did you say something about being a blacksmith? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a blacksmith in the docks. Yeah. So you go back to the Starlight Concert Hall. As you're walking through...
I just realized who that was on your shirt. You
Oh, yes.
moved, and
We
it
haven't
took me
moved.
a second. Yeah,
Yes.
it moved.
Magic dance.
You head down, back in the direction of the Starlight Concert Hall. One thing that you do notice as you're going, you hear some people who say,
Okay.
oh, the mayor is going to be giving a speech very soon, in like an hour. And you can see some people are starting to gather around the Unity Square, which is here. And as people are walking by, you can hear like, oh, the mayor's going to give a speech. And at the same time that you see that, you also notice that as you're kind of turning the bend and starting to come out into where Unity Square is, you see Melpomene. And she is out and about. She is wearing something a little bit more flashy. Her hair is it's kind of up in this big ponytail that's on the top of her head that flows down in between the long horns and her long ears. She's wearing a lot of jewelry, which is what you're used to, actually. And she is, like, covered in people. Like, people are just all coming up to her. She's like, oh, and, like, talking as if this is perfectly natural. And for you, it really is. Like, she is, when she goes out, the day that or yesterday when you came and she kind of met with you, not as many folks were around her, but she was also kind of dressed down a little bit. But typically she's pretty dressed up. Seeing people hanging off of her is not atypical for you. But for you all, the three of you, you don't know Melpomene. So as you come around the bend and she is on her way out, she's not going into the Starlight Concert Hall. She's not at the base of it or anything, but she's clearly leaving to go somewhere. People are just all around her. And in this moment, because of everything that's going on, the two of you have this, like, is that normal? It's normal for her, but is that normal? But she doesn't see you. She's just talking to people. It's like almost at first, and you're looking at her, and she looks like amazing. But it's almost like as people get closer to her, they kind of like turn their head and like, oh, Mama. And then it's almost like a proximity thing. Like as people realize she's there, they're like, oh shit, it's Melpomene. And they come over and they start talking. But she's on her way through the Unity Gardens and on her way out. So you're heading in?
Yep.
All right. You go into the Starlight Concert Hall and up to your room. It's busy in there. Folks are getting ready for some kind of show.
I put my hair back up the way that it normally is, and then I wear something that's similar to what I had been wearing the previous week, but clean.
Okay.
And then this like shawl. Is that's the correct term?
Shawl.
Thing.
Shawl.
That also has a hood that comes up and covers a lot of the face, so you can see a faint yellow glow of my eyes and then the bottom of my face. And then I wrap my tail around my waist, and it's covered by the rest of my bottom clothing.
Okay.
Nobody else thought, Lord Vader.
Lord Vader, do what must be done. Right.
Anyone else getting special?
Eldon doesn't want to take off his fancy hat. Do I really have to take off the fancy hat?
You do not have to do anything you do not want to do.
You're going to the port, I'm assuming.
Oh, we're going to the port, not this. Yeah.
Or where are you going?
We're going to the port to find
Oh, the fancy hat stays on.
Luna, who will then hopefully lead us to a contact in the black market where we can perhaps get some more things that we cannot get on the street. The black market, as you may or may not know where you come from, is not quite legally friendly.
What is it that you're looking for?
I do not know yet. Enhancements? Runestones? I do not wear all this clunky, loud, shiny stuff on myself. Nor can I wear plate mail or anything like that. If I am going to continue on this, I'd rather not die so easily.
The hat on the bed. And then to sadly take the little hat off of Theratrix.
Very good. It is best if I am not recognized.
All right.
Should we call you something else?
I cannot think of an alias because normally people do not ask my name when they do not know who I am. I'm not used to traveling with more than myself. Do you have a name that I should use, perhaps?
Oh gosh.
If you must refer to me, I suppose.
How about the Gilded Shadow?
That is a mouthful indeed.
How about Gilda, for short?
Gilda. It sounds like an old woman. It will do.
It's like Gale and Hilda together.
All right.
Eldon will also pull up his thing too. His head feels cold now. He misses his fancy hat.
Last campaign, I was the only one with a hood. Now I'm the only
You're
one
the
without one.
No.
Or not, never hid his identity.
Well, I did in the first half of the campaign.
All right. You exit the Starlight Concert Hall. It is now lit almost primarily by different glowing orbs and lanterns that are out there on the street, and
Once it's nighttime, Kai will also let the emote. It'll stay within walking distance, so just like an extra light.
Okay. Yeah, it's fairly well lit here in the city, but very lively. Folks are out and about. The stage in the Unity Square, you can tell, is being set up for some kind of announcement that's going to be made in the next time period. Which direction are you heading? North,
The docks.
east. The docks. Well, the port district is this whole
North.
thing here.
So if we're here and just the most direct path, and then start looking for blacksmithies.
All right. So I'm going to have you make an investigation check to see how long it's going to take you.
Do one of us get to roll 2 since we're with her?
I guess it depends on what you're doing.
15.
Are
no,
you?
we wouldn't know it's actually a blacksmith. She didn't share, right?
I don't
No.
know. No. So,
On her own.
Can't help.
all right.
Like you said that.
Can't help. Sorry, you're on your own.
So you are following, I almost called you Mari, Ayla, as she heads through the city. Almost immediately you come through and find yourself in another pretty large square to the east. You know this as Black Rock Square. Right in the center of it is a rock.
Is it black?
I'm sorry, it's called Blood Rock.
Is it red?
Is
Yes.
it blood?
So it's this Blood Rock, as it's affectionately called by the folks of Mosswick. It's really a sight to behold. It's towering over this bustling square, large boulder that is covered in vibrant shades of red. From the deep crimson of dye to the bright hues of flowers, so you can see paint and flowers. Just everything about this rock is red. It's as if the rock has been bathed in the warm glow of a tropical sunset, a true testament to the joy and vibrancy of the island of Yamari. And you would have heard rumors here that this is the founding spot of Mosswick. Allegedly, a long time ago when the city was founded and folks first landed here, they were searching for just an area to settle in for the night, and this large rock with a flat top was where they ended up staying, and they put a fire kind of up on top of it that just burned through the night. And it was called the Blood Rock, not to be scary, but because blood is what gives us life, and it was warmth and like the heat of your body and all of that. It's more of a reverence thing than supposed to be a scary thing.
And now everybody throws quarters at it.
It's like the Plymouth Rock of Yamari Island.
And teenage us would jump down there at 2 a.m. and take all those quarters.
Indeed we did.
Yeah, so people bring a
And
lot
it
of...
bought a lot of Wendy's.
It did.
Okay.
There's a lot of money before they put in security cameras.
A lot of like red hues just adorn this rock in general. Whatever people want to give to the rock, they do, as long as it's red.
Feed the rock. Feed.
So with a 15, I will say that you choose a direction, and your direction is we're just going to walk straight, and straight is east. And as you continue through the Blood Rock Square, you find yourselves, you see other people are heading in the opposite direction to go to Unity Square. But right going east, you continue through, and as you turn a corner, you can hear and smell, like you know the smell, from your time with the Keepers and all of the things that they have built on their own, and you recognize the sounds of someone creating using a forge and all of the tools available to them there. And as you turn the corner, you see an individual outside in their forge area. I don't know shit about any of this. So like slamming down on an anvil with a forge shit. They're a tall hobgoblin.
Can't think of is the Green Goblin from Spider-Man for some reason. Sam Raimi movies.
He's got this very rugged appearance. His dark skin, a thick beard. You kind of see him from the side. He's got his hair up in this ponytail that's at the top of his head, and you can immediately see all these jagged scars that are on his face as he's just pounding away, doing his smithing.
Notice smithing.
But as you approach Ayla, he looks up and he sees you, and again, I'll have you make an insight check.
16. 17.
Instead of there being a like Enrique, where he saw you first and was like, oh shit, it's Ayla, and then was kind of like, who are all these folks? There's he hits whatever he's working on in the moment, and then looks up and sees this group kind of walking towards his shop, and when you look up to him and he can see your face underneath the hood, there is no smile, there's no greeting or anything. He just puts his tools down and he turns and goes into his house and closes the door. You see like a wiping hand, and then he just turns and goes in.
I go to the door and I knock.
Okay. You knock on the door. It's no answer.
Ayla, what are we doing here?
We are getting information of where to get the things we require.
Seems like they don't want to share that information.
He does not know yet that he wants to share that information.
Well, you're gonna have to convince him, it seems.
I hit the door harder.
Okay.
With my -1 strength.
That's scary. Yeah.
As much as you pound on that door, there is no answer on the other side.
Luno, please, open the door. I have business.
You hear from the other side of the door, not a whisper or anything, but he says, "And what kind of business would this be?"
South Gate business. Could use your expertise.
You tell Melpomene that I'm not done with her order.
This is a separate issue from that. I am not here on her behalf. I am here for me.
How did you get my name, if you're not here on her behalf?
We have many I think of the word, but I cannot fucking say it.
Intertwined?
No, We have many people between us that we interact.
Intermediaries.
Intermediaries. That is the word I'm looking for. God, it's right there. I can see it. I cannot spell it because I cannot spell anything. Many intermediaries. Intermediaries.
Interview. Interrogation.
Many intermittent.
That doesn't answer my question. It looks to me like you're coming to my house with a band of ruffians.
Please, look at them. They are not ruffians. They could rough nothing up.
I flex.
Eldon just like,
And you stand and accuse me of something to do with the South Ward?
I accuse you of nothing. I praise your knowledge of things. To
You
have
don't
knowledge
know
is
who
great
I am.
power.
You don't know who I am.
Perhaps. If I am wrong, then you are someone with no useful knowledge. If I am right, you are someone with great knowledge. Who could be in my debt? Or I could be in your debt, rather.
It gets real quiet for a little while. It sounds like you need to talk to Melpomene.
I do that every day.
He stops answering.
I can make it worth your while.
He doesn't answer you.
Ayla, maybe we do need to check in with Mel. There's something going on. Clearly, that we're not aware of.
In what manner? What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. There's some stuff that she's waiting for, and everyone thinks she's like sent us after, like hired goons to like threaten them. Like, I don't, what's going on?
I did not ask her dealings.
Well, if you want information, we might need to like know.
I just need to know where to go in the South Ward.
Maybe she knows.
Yeah,
She knows a lot of stuff.
she does, but she might ask questions I'm not ready to. I don't even know. All right, last chance. If you do not answer my questions, I am leaving.
You hear and see the door crack open just a little as this very intimidating blacksmith looks at you through the door. You really know nothing of Melpomene and myself and our dealing.
That is between you and her.
He looks at all the rest of you.
Eldon will take his hood off at this point.
Kyle, step forward.
Say, there's a lot going on outside of these city walls. That's why we're here. We've heard that you might be able to lead us in a direction so that we can help.
I don't know about that.
We do. We've been out there. We've seen what those in charge of this city are not going to tell you. If you want to be prepared and know what's happening, let us come in.
I do not concern myself with what is happening out there, however. The fact that you don't know intrigues me. Come in. He opens the door. And inside is a very simple home. It's the kind of place where there's things like strewn about and thrown around, but you assume or get the impression that there's a method to the madness. He knows where everything is. It's not one of those where you'd ask him to find something, like throwing everything around trying to find it. It's like, where is this? And it's over there in that chaotic pile. Like, it's that kind of home. And when you come in, he closes the door. It smells very strongly of a forge, of, all of those different materials that are used. He doesn't try
soot
to...
and hot metal.
Yeah, he doesn't try to hide it. He doesn't try to cover it up. This is his life. And he sits down. There is not enough space for everybody to sit down, but he doesn't seem to be. He just sits in like what looks to be probably his favorite chair and looks at you. If you want information from me, then I'm going to need to know. Who sent you? I already know who it was. I need you to say the name.
Enrique passed your name along.
And when he did, what did he say?
Only that you would be a knowledgeable man of information that I need pertaining to materials we are looking for that you cannot find in the normal marketplaces.
Make a deception check.
Poor Enrique's gonna be
Do I roll another d20?
sleeping with the fishes.
Jesus fuck! 14.
Okay.
You done me good all night on that motherfucker.
He
Poor
says,
Enrique just got killed.
Enrique's gonna get some cement shoes.
Sleeping with the fishes.
The fucking big pussy him.
he says, I invite you into my home. And you want me to give you sensitive information, but you are not willing to be forthcoming. If we are going to have a relationship, we must trust each other. Wouldn't you agree?
I lying? I mean, I told you what I need and what I wanted. And who I got it from.
What did he say?
That you would be the one who knows.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for a fucking rune stone. I'm looking for rune stones.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
You'd be surprised.
Why were you asking Enrique for runestones? What prompted this?
What prompted this? This one here had no shirt. So we had to go get him a shirt from Enrique because I would not trust anyone else to get a shirt of subpar quality. And while I was there,
I bought a fancy hat.
I'm not worried about him and his hat.
It's not here. It's not here right now.
He's not wearing the hat right now because the hat will get him killed.
I've seen a hat get many a man killed.
As my companion here has said, we have been out there. We have seen what is now apparently commonplace on this island. We are trying to put an end to it if we can. And the better our chances of doing so would be getting things we cannot get in the marketplace.
He kind of smiles a little bit as you're telling him this. Interesting.
Is that his laugh?
Did Enrique mention Melpomene?
In passing. I do not know what is going on. I do not want to know what is going on. I do not care what is going on.
But you want me to give you illegal information about where you can find rune stones, which you know are very heavily regulated by the Callian Empire.
Yes.
You come to my home, assuming I have this information, but you don't want to know why, despite your employer being mentioned.
Would that not be in the best interest of all?
It sounds unbelievable.
There's a lot of unbelievable shit going on right now.
It's true. I can get you rune stones.
For what price?
For the price of getting Melpomene off my back.
And how would I go about convincing her of this?
Let's say have a conversation with her. I can help you out.
Can I not just give you money?
I don't want your money.
God damn it.
I made more money before your mentor started disrupting my business.
And I do not need to be part of this. You can take up her grievances with her. I just want some runestones.
Well, if you just want some runestones, then you can head down to the South Ward after midnight. And good luck. Wear your hat.
I don't think he likes me.
Or you can talk to your employer. And I can give you what you want without you four children and this dancer heading down into the underbelly of the city, asking to get stabbed in the kidney.
It is I who does the stabbing.
I am the one who nods.
I don't want to know what you two have arranged.
You can't help me unless you do. He stands up and he walks over to his door and opens it. The choice is yours.
Thoughts, opinions here before I make a foolish decision.
Honestly, I don't care if you don't get along with your boss. We need the information.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think Mel would talk to you. You're her favorite. I don't know why you're so afraid to talk to her about it.
Would you not be afraid to talk to your mom about illegal activities?
Okay. But I think she'll understand. It's for a good reason.
Sooner or later, all children grow up and learn that their mothers and fathers aren't who they thought.
I don't know what that means.
Melpomene is far more intertwined in illicit activities than the majority of us here. All for her own benefit, of course. Are you staying and listening, or can I continue with my work?
Strokes the beard she does not have.
I'd hear the man out.
You do not have to not live with Mel.
There's bigger things going on. Like you said, we need those stones. And I, for one...
After everything that we've seen in this past week, everything that you now know, your biggest concern is making Mel upset with you. Can you stop being selfish? Think about everything else. And stop thinking of yourself for the first time in your life.
Kai, please stop quietly yelling. I will talk to her.
You're tearing us apart.
I haven't even begun to get nasty yet.
I'll talk to her. I'm very smooth.
And I would, for one, like to keep my kidneys unstabbed. Hear the
Me
man
too,
out.
says Kethra. He's been with you the whole time. Nyx goes, meow.
Hear the man out.
No, really, I'll talk to her. I feel like she thinks I'm like a dumb little kid, so I can use that to my advantage. And if she throws me out on the street, so be it.
I will talk to her. I will deal with it. We will be going.
You don't want to hear what they have to say.
If I hear what he has to say, then I owe him.
No.
If I go and talk to her, I do not owe him anything.
He still has the information. We will still have to talk with him again.
Then you'll have to talk to her either way. Get your information now.
Let's hear him out, and then you make
Information is not free.
Respectfully.
then you make sure that her information matches
He'll be-
what he's
You
told.
don't know what you are talking to her about.
This is how politics is done.
You'll be paying the price of talking to her either way.
I hate politics and I hate all of you.
It's simple
Very well.
mathematics.
We will listen to you.
I'm not asking you to listen for the sake of it. You literally don't know what you're talking to her about unless I
Pay,
tell you right
pay
now.
no attention to the dancer.
He closes the door and goes back over to his chair, takes a drink of a drink that he had for himself and none for you. This isn't the first time Enrique has given my name.
I will not kill him.
I don't kill. Not anymore. I will talk to him, however.
Enrique, man, you gotta stop fucking doing this.
Wearing a wire?
I came here for a
Wearing a
scarf.
sauna.
too,
You're in
but,
a sauna. You wearing a wire?
Lift your shirt. Lift your shirt. Come on.
I really want one of those sashes with all the glitter in it, but while I'm here. Years ago, Enrique and I have known each other for a long time. Good friends. I had been supplying him with tiny little shards of the runestones. He uses them to crush them up and put them inside of some of his more elaborate clothing. Gives a sparkle. Adds a little flair. The magics that are contained within them are so minute it does not work anymore. But the colors are beautiful. He and I had known each other for long before that. Just worked out. Melpomene, she has an eye for beautiful things. Glitter, which comes from the Feywild. She noticed that Enrique was using the runestone dust in his more expensive clothing, which of course she bought and loved. She also noticed that his wife loved to paint, despite being unable to see. And so she offered a little gift. Of course, only a little bit of the gift. Pigments from the Feywild. While Alara paints, she can see everything she is painting, as if she's there. It is the happiest that I have seen her in a very long time. And so, Melpomene gave them just enough to make Alara very happy. And then when they wanted more, well, she wanted to know where the runestones came from. And I will give Enrique credit. He at least told me. He didn't give my name up right away. But eventually he did. And then Melpomene came to my door. And she wanted... Fucking... What was that? It's gonna burn. She came to my door and let me know that she had been watching me.
Excuse me. I've gotta go kill a dog.
You can just close the door. Melpomene came to me and she admitted that she had watched me for several weeks. Stalked me. Found out that I had a contact sending me rune stones that I pick up at the port. I create unsanctioned weapons, armor, trinkets, jewelry. Proud of what I make. And I ship them back. Typically to Posia. It's neither here nor there. Or I will sell them in the South Ward. Of course, she threatened to turn me in. Of course. That's what the Fae do. No honor among them. Unless, of course, I made items for her. And so, that's what I've been doing for several years now. But your employer is not as sneaky as she likes to think she is. She stalked me, well, I have even more time on my hands than she does. And so I have followed her. And I know that she travels to the Feywild quite frequently. Once, twice a month. She goes with the items that I give to her, and she comes back empty-handed. So I am assuming she sells them. For what, I don't know. I assumed she sent you all here this evening, as I've been working on a special request for her. He gets up and wordlessly just heads back into a back room and closes the door, leaving you there. Only for enough time for you to kind of exchange looks before he comes back with this something in his hand. And as he approaches, he stands in front of you and he towers over you. This guy. I'm going to give you a little look-see as to what he looks like. But he opens his hand, and in it is, very similarly, you have one of these, a runestone. You found one.
I believe Kethra.
Yeah, I
found
was
it.
gonna say I didn't.
So Kethra has a runestone. This is Ludo.
He closed the door on us. Guy looks like a mollywop us all at once.
He opens his hand, and in it is a fairly small, especially in his hand, it would look small in mine, but in his it looks tiny, but probably an inch and a half. It's not, it's a gem, a very light, almost a baby pink color. It's in the shape of, I have gem shapes in here somewhere. It is rough. It is not finely cut, or it has not been shaped yet. It doesn't look like he plans on doing so, but it's almost in the shape of a heart that's not quite a heart. And he holds it out and shows it to you. And he says, "This is a rune stone. It breaks through one's ability to resist charm. There are several folks who have this innate ability to do so, and this pushes past that. It may not work every time, but it gives a chance. It is a very chaotic runestone, very powerful, and I have been working to make her a trinket with it for weeks, if not months. It is difficult to find the right metal that will fit a highly magical runestone such as this. You have to work with it. When she gave it to me, I became extremely suspicious. Why would one want a runestone that can push past one's ability to resist charms, innately or via magical means?
Well, when we were walking, we saw how everybody was fawning over her. I mean, is that normal
Yes,
to that degree?
maybe.
She has been especially glowy. But she's always had.
It is the dry season.
You can make an intelligence check. Or wisdom, whichever one you want.
Oh, definitely intelligence for this character. Just straight intelligence, or
Yeah.
like history or anything like that?
I'm gonna.
Arcana, intelligence.
All of them.
I would. I guess you could do either straight intelligence or history.
So with history, that's 17.
Okay. So, having grown up as you did where you did, and given everything that's going on here, you know that there are certain individuals, there are certain people who just kind of are born with an ability that it's more difficult for you to break through and charm them. Elves, are just inherently, they've got this something, nobody knows why, it's a little bit more difficult. You also know that your interaction with Morden, that was a gamble on your part because he's a military official. And if there's one thing that the military does not want, it is for high-ranking people to be easily charmed by anybody. And so you were able to make that, suggestion, and it worked. But if someone could push past, and you picture in your mind that military guy that you guys saw out in the, leaving the gates, and that you've seen around but not really, and all of the military that are here. Not the everyday soldier maybe has this type of charm blocking and protection, but if there's a high-ranking military official in here, higher than Morden, who's probably like a sergeant of a like the platoon or whatever, not platoon, but the town that he was set on. I have all the ranks in here too. I'm not bothering to look up. But somebody who's higher than that, they're going to have some kind of charm, protection. A mayor, an emperor, like those type of people, you can't just walk up to them and try to suggest something to them and hope it's going to work. It's not going to. So just in your head, knowing what you can do and what you were successfully able to do in the town of Balstead, trying to do such a thing here, they would, while they might not know, like, I know because I felt that you just cast a spell, if they've suddenly felt themselves go from, like, I don't know who this guy is, to, like, spilling their guts, and then a minute later they'd be like, what the fuck? Like, they know. That pops into your head. That.
3 minutes of internal dialogue.
The gears are just whirring in there.
So you think she may want this in order to affect someone of some standing?
That would be my guess. She has been very adamant about it. She has been checking in more frequently. Why? I don't know. Here, the Feywild, perhaps this could work. Either plane. I don't know who she speaks to over there. I dare not follow her. That would be an unintelligent move. For those of you thinking or wondering why, you have no control over what happens in the Feywild. Those that come, perhaps they, or at least she, is more well-versed. Perhaps she has a contact. You head to the Feywild, you can come back. In an instant, in 100 years, in 1,000 years. Everyone you know and love could be gone. And to top it all off, you may forget.
I read the stories when I was a child.
The stories are true. I know of people.
We all know the stories. I don't see the problem here. I mean, she is a strong, independent woman running a business. Who doesn't need extra charm enhancement?
It's illegal charm enhancement.
Says the person doing illegal deeds.
Yes, I can confirm how highly illegal it is.
Then why is she blackmailing him for it?
I don't know. Why not? Would you not do the same?
No.
Huh.
Something like this, you only use it on somebody who people would know, not to charm, not to influence. They would want some kind of advantage for something.
We all need advantages in this life.
You're very naive, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I am street smart.
That noise I just made, Eldon actually made.
So, I can tell you that on the days that Melpomene heads to the Feywild, she has a routine. You may have noticed it, though you wouldn't have realized. She does her hair in these braids that she wraps around those devil horns of hers, and she paints gold on the tip of her hooves. She carries with her a small purple bag. I've seen her put items in it that have no business fitting in such a small satchel. And she wears the teardrop necklace.
Is the teardrop necklace a runestone?
No, that is something much stranger. But if you follow her on days like that, she typically leaves early in the morning. She will lead you straight to the portal to the Feywild. Now, I've only been doing this for several decades, but I would recommend confronting her at the portal. Otherwise, you should talk to her on her own stomping ground. She will manipulate you like dough on a baker's fucking counter.
Like hot steel on a blacksmith's anvil.
Yes.
We nailed it.
When it comes to blacksmithing, I don't fuck around with analogies.
Confront her in what way? About why are you trying to charm people?
Yes. You can tell her that what she is doing is wrong. She is getting herself and the concert hall wrapped up in illicit activities. You can tell her to stop.
And you think she's going to listen to me? And what do you care of the concert hall? You make weapons!
You're right, I don't. I care that she leaves me alone. And if you know, well, now you know. She cares for you, does she not? It's dangerous for more and more people to know. You can confront her, you can tell her to stop. And in exchange, you tell me what you need and I will get it for you.
I will think about it.
All right. I am making her a bangle. If she wants more proof that you were here, she wants it to be an arm piece. And I assume she would wear it wherever she is going and then charm her way through. That necklace she wears will help her, but she manipulates you. Just remember that.
How long until you are finished with the rune?
I don't know. I have been trying for months. I have not yet figured out the right combination of metals.
And she knows you're still working on it.
She does. I assume she foolishly sent you all here to rough me up. very, very poorly.
You'll not see it, not we can.
We might surprise you.
No.
I believe you.
I think he's right.
Think on it. Of course. Take your time.
Yes, the one thing I do not have.
But do not speak with her at the concert hall, or you will get very little information. She has you all wrapped around her spiral daggers.
And clearly you do not like horns. Now I start to resent this because they are a beautiful thing. Fine.
I typically have a thing for horns, but she I despise with every fiber of my being. It makes it worse for me because I like them. And then she
Like
walks around.
big horns.
Like big,
Just handfuls of horns.
but she has them. And I see them on her, and I think, am I ever gonna like horns again?
When you follow her on those days, does she go to the same place each time?
She does. It's strange. It's as if we take a different path to get there every time,
Yeah, that makes sense.
but we end up at the same spot.
Considering we're dealing with the Fae, do you remember where the spot is?
If I saw it, I would remember it, but that's why I follow her. I can't get there on my own. I wait for her, in fact, to head back.
And judging by your stalking, how long before the next time she goes?
She does not keep a schedule. You must watch her demeanor. It has been a while, I will say.
Is the portal in the city?
No.
Beyond the walls?
It's out in the wilds.
She was wearing that necklace. I asked her about it. I wonder if
It
she
was
went
not
then.
today.
Oh, okay.
You
Her
said
hair
she,
didn't
She doesn't
match her.
always.
Wasn't
She didn't have the
around
right
her.
hairdo. Yeah.
Yes.
you said she leaves first thing in the morning.
She starts her day early.
Before the sun's rise? Sorry.
No.
With golden hooves, you said.
Yes.
And a purple bag.
I do not rise that early. Perhaps that is why I did not notice this.
And you said the necklace. You don't know anything about what it might do. Do you think it gives her more influence or
It does.
over people?
I know it does, yes. She was wearing it when she came to speak with me the first time. And after she left, I realized.
It is very attention grabbing. When I saw her wearing it, I couldn't take my eyes off of it, and I had to ask her about it. I could see.
She wouldn't let anyone touch it.
Is there any way to shield yourself from its effect?
He picks up the runestone. Yes. There is. Has she told you the story of the Starlight Concert Hall, where it got its name?
She said it had something to do with the necklace. But
Before she came.
didn't give any details.
That concert hall was owned by someone else. I believe he has since left. But it was known as the Elysian Hall. Within a few years of her coming, the proprietor, Melchior, he was a good man. His reputation was completely tarnished. And while no one knew exactly who was spreading rumors about him, misconduct, or artistic plagiarism, scandal. Suddenly, during a very highly anticipated event, Melchior fell victim to a catastrophic accident. The stage collapsed, with performers on it, with him on it. Caused injuries to the audience and to himself. And of course, everyone blamed Melchior. And then, after that, Melpomene arrived, bought the place for a fraction of the price, fixed it up. She portrayed herself as a savior coming in to save the day, restore the concert hall. And she renamed it. Melchior disappeared. No one asked where he went. He was a disgrace. He let people get hurt. And his plays were lies and stolen from other artists on the arts district and all of that. All of those rumors. And so she bought it. It's been about 25 years. And she has made quite a name for herself. It is a very popular place. And she has you. Our star performer. You bring in a lot of money for her. I see your illustrations all over.
I am one of many.
And she keeps you close. Have you ever left this island?
Why would I leave this island?
Why would you? Well, that might be some questions that you want to ask Melpomene.
She has not told me not to leave.
She hasn't.
No, this is... I do not want to leave. Why would I? The world is dangerous and full of... monsters.
Maybe you just don't remember her telling you.
And even today, you still see no reason to leave the island.
I mean, what could possibly be out there that you would want to find that you don't already have here? Right.
Right.
There's nothing out there in the world that you wouldn't want to be reunited with.
Nothing I would like to discuss in front of this gigantic, handsome hobgoblin, no.
Well, you think about my proposal. I will give you what you want if you give me what I want. Wonderful to meet you. I believe the mayor is giving a speech. You might not want to miss it. He goes over and opens the door. You can smell like the smell of flowers mixed with the cooling metals from the forge, and all just kind of like wafts in.
Are there any, like, swords and stuff on the wall?
Cheese it!
Cheese it, it's a nip.
It's like, go ahead, call the cops. I dare you.
You know, examples of his work.
Let me take a quick look at. He actually. You see on his wall not a sword, but a giant glaive that is worn and has seen some shit in its lifetime. It's like the opposite of where like you polish until it's just shining and beautiful, and it's like he's intentionally left it there as is.
Seeing that, he's gonna look over at it at this like dried, bloody glaive, and as a not a double entendre isn't the word, but he's gonna look at it and he's gonna say, "Your work is impeccable. Thank you for your time." And he's gonna walk out. He's got nothing else left to hear.
He looks back at his glaive for a moment and then looks at you as you leave. He doesn't say anything, but
The total acknowledgement of us getting mollywopped if we went in there guns a-blazing.
and as you step out into the night, you begin to hear the calling from Unity Square of folks saying that a speech is about to begin and requesting everyone calm down. And that is where we will end the session.
I had more to say. What a waste of time that was. Because of course he's full of lies.